Now, an 8 on your side investigation.
A neighborhood nightmare. Water everywhere, and the damage is devastating.
But it's so sad. It's depressing. You know, you come home and every day you're a little bit sadder.
But it wasn't always like this.
You have one thing change, and now you've had 2 floods in a matter of 3 years.
So who's to blame?
The amount of water in that neighborhood is staggering, but these folks never had flooding issues until a big sports complex moved in.
And now neighbors are pointing fingers, and 8 on your side wants to know who's responsible, who's going to fix it. Senior investigative reporter Steve Andrews is here, and what a mess for these folks.
You know, water 18 inches deep in one house, and the smell of mold when I walked into some of these places, enough to just knock you over. You want to experience frustration? Take a walk like I did around 5th Street Southwest, but put on your waders. Neighbors are laying the blame for this crisis on Hillsborough County. Home after home in this Lutz neighborhood near Lake Cooper, submerged in disaster.
I feel helpless. You know, I feel like there's nothing I can do.
Kelly Peak moved out of her house over the weekend. Water swallowed her master bedroom, the foyer, her living room, the laundry room, and back patio.
It's disgusting to know that you have the septic tanks and the wells and, you know, who knows what else in the water, but fish floating around in your house. It's gross.
Around the corner, 18 inches of water sit in this house.
Very hard.
Robert Murrow's home is also underwater. He lays the blame on Hillsborough County. According to Robert Murrow, the only thing that's changed in this neighborhood in the last 35 years is the county put a new park in just beyond these cypress trees. Where nearly 30 acres of orange groves and swamps once sat, the Oscar Cooler Sports Complex now sits high and dry.
That's all gone now. It's elevated with sand-based sports fields.
Since then, we've had 2 floods.
They've elevated those swamps that used to be over there.
Scott Hand told me he couldn't get the county to even return a phone call. Meanwhile, 88-year-old Jane McDonald watches the water inch closer to the house she's lived in for 46 years.
If we get a hard rain, I'm going to have water.
Lutz sits in Commissioner Victor Christ's district. But what if the park is causing that problem? What do you do?
If the park is causing the problem, we fix it.
Christ plans to ask an engineer to go out and look at where the drainage from the sports complex flows.
And see whether or not there's a level of exposure, responsibility, and do our due diligence in correcting it as quickly as possible.
You have one thing change, and now you've had 2 floods in a matter of 3 years. It's pretty self-explanatory.
I do the math. In addition to the sports complex, 88-year-old Jane McDonald told me the county also stopped maintaining a canal that runs behind her house to Lake Cooper. It's overgrown, plugged up. The canal has breached its banks. She no longer needs a lawnmower for the backyard. She needs a dock.
Yeah. This is gut-wrenching to see, Steve.
It really is. You know, we see this on television, but until you get out there and you talk to these people, you smell this stuff, I mean, you can feel the emotion in their voices as they walk you through this smelly mess that used to be their homes.
And I just get the feeling they all think this was preventable.
They do. It's really too early to know if it was preventable. It's too early to know if it's the sports complex, but we know we've gotten the county's attention. They were out there today checking things out, and the county knows we're going to stay on this until we get some answers.
All right, very good. Thank you, Steve. We also want to know